My name is Richard Casper. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I teach the course here at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. This program started basically because after my injuries in war, I didn't know how to deal with myself. I came back, had a brain injury, my best friend was shot and killed. I didn't know myself at that point. Art has helped me by giving me a chance to have a voice again. I used to not be able to leave my house. I couldn't go talk to people. I would physically throw up and get sick. If you could be 0%, that's committing suicide, 100% being the best you can be. After the Marine Corps, after being injured, I was at probably like a 9 or a 10. And after this school, I was back to like 85% me. For people who may struggle like I did and didn't want to break out of the house and be like, I'm not sure if this is going to work, I just want them to know my story and be able to come out here and learn with other combat vets how to do art. And if they're looking for one more way, if they just come out here and give me a chance, it's going to be worth it.
What we were aiming for is to express what we were dealing with, when we were deployed and during our military career, where we literally get out of our element, go on this kind of like alternate reality to go back in time, think about what we went through, and express it to other people.
Just being exposed to different concepts of art, like at the museum and some of the contemporary art we saw, that's what influenced me to try doing a performance piece for my last project.
The opportunity to be at the school was just phenomenal. It was amazing. At lunch, we could go and wander the halls of the museums, and that was pretty awesome.
I think the hardest part was actually talking about what I've been through. It was easy talking to Richard because he is a combat veteran and he has been through stuff I've been through. And
my job was to, go find IEDs or find landmines or anti-personnel landmines and take them apart. And little did I know, I was putting that stuff inside me.
At first, it's a little hard to let yourself become vulnerable. You won't really know what to do right away. It takes a couple days. I know for me, it took a week.
Being surrounded by a bunch of veterans that know what combat feels like, knows the after effects of combat, knows how it feels to come home. It was really comfortable being here.
They're going to come to class like normal college students, treated like normal people that know how to be like, I can be in college, I am a normal person, and I can live like everybody else lives. If even one of them chose to go to college and study art and has that artist brain to where it saved them, it's totally worth it.
Hey guys, so as always, excited to be streaming for CreatiVets. I am MrsOEF5. You can catch me most of the time on Mixer, but every Thursday at the same time I volunteer stream for CreatiVets, and absolutely love the organization. Super excited tonight because we get to do some wood burning, which is fun for me. We're going to wood burn a few cutting boards, and then, yes, and then we may work on some designs that you guys have, right? Some ideas that you have. This is Beta, otherwise known as Beta the streamer cat. He loves to interrupt the streams, so prepare yourselves for that. All right, let's scooch over to our workspace here, and we'll see if we can't distract Beta enough to get something done. All right. Yes, he's been very enthralled with himself lately. He's legit walking over here right now to get right back in it. I hope you all like cats. No. I don't want him by the wood burner though. So we'll see if we can't maybe distract him. Come here, beta cat. You want to play? Come here. Come here. Come down here. Come here. Come down here. Yeah, I know you don't want to. Okay, come on. Come down here. Come on. Get down. Get down. Go play with your mouse. Okay. Sorry. I have very little control over the cat. I'm going to admit that. He runs the house. Okay. So oh. Yeah, you see how ineffective that was. All right, so I have a couple of organic bamboo cutting boards. We're just going to ignore the cat. I'm just going to move on. And they haven't been treated with anything, so they're not coated yet, right? They're just raw bamboo. And they're solid. They're pretty nice. This is a small size one. And I've gone ahead and stenciled some designs on 3 of them for tonight. And then I've got 3 more. So depending on how long this takes, we may do a couple more. And if you guys have some design ideas, we'll sketch those out and then wood burn them. So here's another one that I've got. You can just see the design on the bottom of there. This is a particularly nice one. I like this little line here, and then it's got the handholds carved out in the back. So I kind of like this design. It's a good size too. They're pretty heavy. But like I said, they're all raw organic bamboo. So if you are going to wood burn a cutting board, you don't want it to have that clear coat on it, you know, polyurethane or resin or anything like that. You can't wood burn through that. You've got to just burn on wood. And once we wood burn this, we're going to clean that off. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And then we'll use mineral oil to treat it, and it'll just be treated just like that. So really easy to maintain that way. You're making me nervous. I don't want to bring out this wood burner and have you this close. We're going to see how he does, okay? You guys, we're going to try. So I am using a really basic wood burner here, okay? So you can pick these up for 10, 12 bucks. Most home improvement stores, online shops, whatever. I'm using just a plain point on the end of this. I can't get it too close to my camera, but you'll see there's nothing special about this at all. This particular one came with like 5 different heads, and they just screw in there. This little point just screws in there, and you put in the new one. So you can do different shading and that kind of thing. But since we haven't done this for a while, I wanted to go ahead and just demonstrate what you can do with the most basic tool that you can pick up anywhere, right? So where can you start? So the cool thing about wood burning, one of the things that I like about it is you can do anything. I mean, there's just no limit to it, right? So if you have a piece of wood that's not been treated with any kind of coating, and this, you can create any picture that you want. Do anything you want. You can tell any story that you want. So we're going to get started with this lettering on the top first. And I'm going to put my glasses on. And we're going to hope that this cat doesn't get in my business. So I'm going to hold this really upright, okay? I don't want to lean because this has this pointed end, and it'll make a really thick line if I hold it like you do a pencil. So I'm going to come real straight, and I'm just barely touching the top of this wood. You see that already? Let me zoom in a little bit for y'all so you can kind of see better as we go, okay? Hey, thanks for hosting. I appreciate that. So we're just barely touching this wood. We're going to go real light. I do not want to carve into it. I don't want a real deep line here. I just want to color it, right? So just a real fine hand. Now, as I cross the grains of the wood, you're going to see where it's a tiny bit darker in those softer spots and a little bit lighter in the harder spots. I don't want to burn my cat. I'm sorry, you guys. Scooch down. Get down. Beta, get down. So what I do to make sure that it's consistent is I start with this real light touch, and then I'm going to go back over it. And I've wood burned all kinds of wood, cork, all kinds of stuff, right? And basically the same principles apply. I will tell you, the harder the wood, the easier it is, because you get a smoother line. So cork, for me anyway, was probably the most difficult for me to get a handle on, because it's been chopped all up and it's inconsistent, right? The surface itself is inconsistent. So getting good consistent lines is more difficult. But once you do it for a little while, you get in the groove. Hey, Airless Prince, welcome. How are you doing? So bamboo, as you start to work on it, you'll find has, like this bamboo, has really, really straight grain. So it's easy for me to do the lines that go with the grain. It's a little harder to get a good line going against it because it wants to look bumpy, right? So we're just going to do a real thin line there, just getting our outline. And then I'm just real gently going to go back over it until I get that line the way I want it. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Have any of you guys ever wood burned before? Or ever thought about doing it? So on this curve, or all the curves, I like to take them in parts, right? A little bit at a time, go real slow, and then just go a little bit thicker on that line and meet those up. a long time ago. I really enjoy it, actually. I have an antique humidor that is one of my projects on my never-ending to-do list of projects that I want to take. Hey, Dark, welcome. That I want to take apart, kind of re-put it together, stabilize a little bit, and then strip it and wood burn the whole thing, because I think it would be really cool. I did a tabletop, and I want to say it's 4 foot by 3 foot, and I did just about half of it in a gigantic sunflower, and then we polyurethane the top. It's downstairs. That was a fun project. That's by far the biggest I've ever done. I had meant to go through the website today and see if the face-to-face classes were starting back yet or not for CreatiVets. Because hopefully we're getting close to being able to do something like that, right? So, excuse me. So, bamboo is pretty clean, meaning you don't get a lot of little burrs on it, right? Because sometimes when you're burning wood, you get these little tufts of, I don't know, little splinters of burnt wood. And depending on how deep your design goes, you'll have more of them, and they'll get caught on this little tip, and you'll have to clean it off. So you have to be careful about a fire, because this thing is really hot. And I don't really recommend putting water on it when it's hot, because you'll ruin your tip. It's always dangerous to use water in something that's plugged in, so really don't recommend you do that. I have this little stand right here. I use this for all kinds of stuff. So it can sit right here, right, where it's safe. It's a cast iron bottom. It's got this little lit magnifying glass. It's got little clips for me to hold stuff when I'm doing jewelry and stuff. But I literally just take this and twist it and rub it on that little piece of metal and get those little burnt splinters off of it. So that they don't mess up my design and it stays nice and clean. So I'm pretty excited about one of the designs we have today because I just got the licensure for it and it's new and it's the Mandalorian and the child. So I get to do Baby Yoda. And I'm super excited about that. I absolutely love Baby Yoda. And it's a really, really cute design. So, I did not know it was available yet. And I just found it today. So I was pretty excited about that. He's super cute too. And I had about 12 options, so it was hard for me to pick which Baby Yoda I liked the best because I love them all. But I picked one that I thought would look good on the cutting board. You guys want to see it? You can just barely see his little face. Look how cute he is. So we'll be doing that here in a little bit when we finish this one. And the other one there is Nightmare Before Christmas. Because I thought that would be fun. But like I said before, you can You can wood burn just about anything. I chose these 3 examples because one, this has lettering in it. So if you wanted to wood burn something, a picture or whatever you wanted, and you wanted to put some words with it, I wanted to show how different types of fonts look. Let me zoom back in for a second so you guys can see. There's a knot on this wood, right? So it's a little bit harder surface, and it's also very, very inconsistent. So I tend to just go back and forth, take my time, and fill that in so I can get a nice solid line there. I'm not pushing any harder. I'm just letting the tip of this sit on the wood a little bit longer. And the longer I let this sit on the wood, the wider and darker and deeper that line is going to get. You guys can't see what I'm doing, can you? If I zoom out too much, my head's probably going to be in the way. So once I get this all outlined, and it's looking pretty smooth on that outside edge, I'm going to come back through the center of these and fill this all in. So what I'm concentrating on as I do this is not that the line is perfect to the interior of the letter, but that it is as straight and uniform as I can get it on the outside of the letter. And since we are filling these in, I've got a little bit of room for corrections if I need it, right? But there's not a whole lot of room for correcting when you're wood burning. It's not like paint, you can't paint over it. Once you burn wood, it's burnt. It doesn't come back, right? It doesn't get unburned. So we're going to go with the grain of the wood. You'll notice that I'm holding this at a more of an angle. I'm just starting on that outside edge. And then coming in here. So this is the part where you're going to start to see where the different thicknesses of wood makes a difference, because it's going to be appreciably lighter where this wood is thicker, and then appreciably darker where it's softer. So the trick here is to take my time, go over the whole thing, and make sure that it looks a little bit uniform. So I'd like this to be as solid as possible. Hey, thanks for the host, Outlaw. Appreciate it. So if I were wood burning a landscape, for instance, or a tree or a flower or whatever, and I wanted to shade part of it and I wanted part of it darker, then I would just leave this wood burner sit on the wood. See, if I go over it quickly, how light that is. And the longer I leave it on there, the darker it gets. So that's how you shade. But for this particular application, we are just coloring this in. So at the very beginning, when we first started, I talked about these cutting boards being non-treated. Right, there's no clear coat on them, anything like that. Which is why, right, because you're burning it, it's important that you have just a plain wood surface to work on. And these particular cutting boards are, yeah, exactly. Are organic bamboo, and they're solid. So I don't have to worry about there being anything in them that is toxic to me or harmful while I'm burning them, other than the smell of burnt wood, which my studio will be filled with here in no time. This is just super relaxing. And it's really, really cool to watch. I mean, there's no rushing this process, right? There's no hurrying through and just getting it done. It's something that kind of happens at its own pace, and you just go along with it. So you see the grains of wood there? You see how it's darkened, but it still follows that grain? I kind of dig that look. So there's part of me that's debating just letting that look just like that. I think I will, actually. I like it. Since this is a cutting board, I really don't want to go too deep here, right? I don't want to mar the surface to the point that it impedes the function of the piece. It would be different if I was doing a decorative board that was going to, you know, hang on a door or something like that. I wouldn't worry so much about that. But on the cutting boards, I like for it to be fairly surface, more aesthetic than anything else. So I've been doing these streams with my phone in front of me to read chat as we go. And I now have a nice big monitor there. I'm so pleased. It makes it so much easier to keep up with y'all. Because I can see everything now, which is nice. Here pretty soon we're going to have our first little piece of this done. It goes pretty quick. I'm going to flip this around so it's easier for me to reach. So there are several different tools that you can use for pyrography, varying in cost. And one of the most popular has a tip on it that is 2 wires that come down to a point. Very, very small, very fine. And then that's the basic tip. That would be, you know, comparable to the one that I'm using right now. This is absolutely the least expensive way for you to wood burn, is this little tool right here. Most accessible for most people. But the other tool gives the ability to really shade, give detail. That is much more difficult with this one. It's just a more advanced version. There we go. Queen is done. Progress. But it's amazing some of the projects that I've seen done with wood burning. Just gorgeous. There was a, well, there still is, there's a lodge on, hey Dodge Racer, how are you? Thanks for joining us. There's a lodge up White Pass in Washington State that has a great big wood burn mural of an elk. It is absolutely stunning. Good. I'm glad you joined us. We're going to see how many of these cutting boards we can get done here tonight. I'll start with this one, and then I've got a couple more stenciled out. One of them is The Mandalorian and the Child. Baby Yoda. And the other one is all of the bad guys from The Nightmare Before Christmas. And this one says Queen of Shenanigans. And what I'm using here is a really inexpensive wood burning tool that pretty much anybody can use. Before the stream, I went ahead and drew these out so that I had a guide. I just drew them in regular pencil, drew them right onto the board, and that's what we're going to follow, right? So, not very complicated. But it's a really, really cool medium, I think. It's super relaxing to me to do this. There's some immediate gratification in seeing this wood burn as you go and seeing your little points of goals met as you go through your piece. You can see progress very, very quickly. Thank you. Which is nice. So, if you're just starting out in it, I think for some people, it's difficult to see that you're progressing or that you're making a dent in it. Sometimes it can get overwhelming. This is a nice medium for you to be able to see real progress fairly quickly. The other cool part about it is that no matter what you want to make, it's doable, right? Sketch it out, stencil it out, however you want to do it to tell the story you want to tell. The longer you hold this on the wood, the deeper it's going to get, the darker it's going to get. The lighter your hand is, the lighter color you're going to get. So you can make all kinds of designs. There we go, looks good so far, right? I'm going to start on the crown. And actually, before I start on this crown, I'm going to grab my drink real quick. Thanks, Dark. So how are you all doing tonight? Anything super exciting going on other than watching me slowly burn wood? Never put your hands on the end of one of these, by the way. immediate third-degree burns. Don't do it. Zoom in a little bit more for you. Getting caught up on paperwork. That's exciting. At least it's good work, right? Pollo Toluca. That sounds fabulous. Pollo Toluca is a Mexican-American dish. It's chicken with chorizo, queso, and rice and beans. Usually served with tortillas. Super good. Hey, Skelly. Well, I'm glad you're out of your meetings. I had 4.5 hours of meetings today. Loved every minute of it. I really did. Loved every minute of those. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's all right. Hey, maybe. Yeah, so we have, I was telling everybody right before you guys came in, I have 3 cutting boards sketched out. One of them says Queen of Shenanigans on it. Another one has a whole series of characters from The Nightmare Before Christmas. And the other one has the Mandalorian and the child on it because I have licensure to Baby Yoda. I'm so excited. Hey, Eric820, how are you? It's good to see you here. Here, I want to show you guys this. Good, good. Centric Mama, hey, welcome. So I want to show you this. See, because the wood grains go this way, see how this looks bumpy right here? So there's dark and light spots where I've hit a softer piece of wood and then a harder grain of wood and then a softer piece of wood. So we're going to go through here and I'm going to even that out by just going back over it really lightly a couple of times. And I'm paying real close attention that my hand does not go back into those little dark holes, right? I don't want to make them darker. But I do want this line, this outside line, to be a little bit more consistent. We're going to fill this crown in, so I've got opportunity to fix this a little bit if it becomes a problem. But what we're looking at here is this outside line I want nice and straight. So you see how that straightens that up a little bit and it defines it? That's what we're looking for on this outside line. I'm not worried about the interior because we're going to fill that in. But I'm trying to pay attention to that outside line. I'm so glad to see you all here tonight. This is nice. I don't know how long everybody can stay, but if you want me to pick up one of these other designs and show you what we're going to work on later, I can, just so that you can see it. I really like this little size cutting board. It gets small enough it could fit in a drawer out of the way. But they're really pretty heavyweight. They're solid bamboo, and they're all organic, by the way, and non-treated. So it'd be really nice to just tuck in a drawer, even for a small flat or, you know, an apartment, whatever. I think that's a really good size. The others are a little bit larger, and they've got a groove for catching, you know, water or whatever. And then they've got little handholds in the back for your hands to go in, which I thought was nice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a perfect size for that, right? These aren't too much bigger. I mean, they're the same width, they're just, or I mean, they're the same length, they're just wider. But it's got that nice groove. And then on the back, they've got these little cutout handholds, which are kind of cool. I also thought this would be a cute size if you just wanted to set this on a plate stand in a kitchen. You know, just display it. Even if you don't use it, or if you do use it, but you want to put it on display so that it's decoration and a cutting board. It's a good size for that, right? To just sit on a little stand, it'd be cute. I did manage to get my last commission done today. So I was excited about that. You like it? I'm so excited about Baby Yoda, I can't even see straight, okay? I didn't know the licensure was available yet. So I was like, oh my gosh, Baby Yoda. Yeah, I was kind of excited. I got that commission done today, so that's good. so we can work on some other fun things. Well, I can make anything with Baby Yoda at this point because I bought him. But this cutting board, it's Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian standing behind him. So we'll be wood burning that today. I can show you, I think I set the stencil cutout in here. I can show you that one because it's probably easier to see this way than it is on that board. It's harder to imagine. So he'll look like that. Oh, I've got tons of regular Star Wars stuff. But I got a thing for Baby Yoda. Yeah, I like the Star Wars. But that's part of what I pay for with the Cricut. Right, so I have a yearly fee that I pay for licensure to do these kinds of things with the Cricut, and then per design as they come out, I pay another fee on top of that for usage, for me to be able to resell them if I want to. Who can resist Baby Yoda? It's the cutest. Yeah. Well, I don't ever want to use an image that I don't own. I think it's really important as an artist that you honor other artists, right? So I try not to go steal other people's artwork. I did. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to. I don't think it was just me. I mean, I think everybody's going to. Because it went through 6 hours and it was done. Right? Awesome. That's great. Yeah, it took no time at all. They were super quick. Which is really cool. By the way, for those of you catching this on the other channels, we're talking about Mixer just released clips so that people can pick funny little clips of each other and put them up. It's about you. No, today's not about me. Today is about CreatiVets. But you are just fine, maybe. It is okay. You guys can't see me. I'm zoomed in too tight with this close to me. I am excited about clips. I finally decided I was excited about it. I went through a full spectrum of emotions. And then I was like, it's going to be okay. I'm just going to be happy about this. Yes, you're excited too. I know, it's going to be fun. it's going to be really cool because I'll be anxious to see everybody else's, right? Hey, Hunt, what's up? What's a clip? You be still. You know exactly what a clip is. Since you've already put one in my Discord, you sneaky sneak. Okay, thank you, Dark. I'll check it out as soon as the CreatiVets stream is over. I'll take a look at it. And if everybody wondering is, or watching is wondering what everybody is talking about, I am MrsOEF5 on Mixer. So they're talking about my channel, things that are going on Mixer right now, and my Discord that my community talks in, which is awesome. I have a great community over there. Lots of veteran streamers on Mixer. I mean, I'm sure they are everywhere, but it's amazing to me how many incredible veterans I've met that I've seen pop in here, or have popped into my own streams. It's been really, really cool. Since I got to start doing this with CreatiVets, it's been really, really cool. And I love the idea that I have the opportunity to reach out, have a continued conversation, whether it be casual day to day or whatever, but to continue to be available. Thanks for the host, Catnip Dealer. It's a really cool thing. Well, it's very relaxing to do, I can tell you that. Very, very relaxing. You can pick up one of these little wood burners for, I don't know, between $12 and $20. Extremely inexpensive way to get started. There are much nicer ones on the market, but like I said, this is a great way to try it out, see if you enjoy it, get started with not a lot of initial costs, right? He is punny by nature, yes. You can actually, you just have to use a super light hand. Very, very similar tool. It just gets appreciably hotter, so you just burn right through your wood without knowing it. So we're going to start on this lettering. And I'm going to start really, really thin and then slowly thicken it up, right? Because I don't want this lettering to be really heavy. So I'm going to just go with this curve, and I'm going to just go along this outside line for each of the thin bits, right? And then I'm going to come back through and fill in the thicker parts of these letters.
Hi chat, CreatiVets.
Hey Outlaw. Flamethrower art. We can, I don't know, maybe that's one of those don't do this at home things, right? One of those things that comes with a disclaimer. But I have seen it done, and she's right, it's extremely cool. But I would definitely recommend caution, and you know what you're doing before you start.
Just so you know, chat, it really is burning wood, and it smells like it.
Yeah, the whole house smells like burning wood right now.
On fire.
He's not wrong. It's also a little bit warm in here, I'm just going to say. And the longer I do this with my face right next to this thing, the hotter I'm going to get. Yeah, I don't do this at home. You can do what I'm doing at home. So see how I've thickened up that letter in some parts, right? So if you look at my lettering where I penciled it in, it looks like, you know, a small child did it. That's just my guide. Like inside of that H, you can see where I put that teardrop, but that's not what I'm following, right? It's just a guide. It's a don't go farther than this point guide for me. So I'm attempting to keep these thin lines very nice and defined and very thin. And I want a nice curve with these letters, right? So as I come down here to this loop, I'm just going to carry this line all the way through to the edge. On its natural progression. Just like you were writing. She does use a torch. True story. It's really cool looking. So you can see where I followed this line on the outside edge, and then I'm going to come back here where this pencil line goes, and I'm just going to fill that out a little bit. What you're doing, it's so fancy. The lettering, I really like when I'm doing lettering, I kind of follow the same rule all the time. So, and you may notice this in my work because it's pretty consistent. I always couple really blocky letters with really thin letters, or really straight up and down letters, right? Cube letters with really swirly letters. I like that. I like that contrast. I like how that ends up looking. Oh Lord, love a duck. You're fine. I mean, you get to choose to do it however you want to do it, right? It's what looks good to your eye. But no matter what, when I'm choosing fonts or I'm doing anything like that, it seems like this is where I go, right? This is what I always end up with. I end up with some big blocky thing and some little thin swirly thing together. I like I don't know. I think it balances a little bit. I don't know. But I also think that all swirly, fancy letters becomes hard to read after a while. Like, it's hard to look at. Oh, thank you, maybe. You like the swirls? Keep up with my brain. Keep up with my brain. Okay. Thank you for the embers. Good luck with keeping up with my brain. I don't know what to tell you about that. I mean, I'm not completely sure I'm succeeding in that area, if we're honest. Can you all play nice? Personally, I prefer oak. But that's an honest answer. And probably outside of your actual conversation. Can't catch me here. I do like apple. Although, he did the Dr. Pepper ribs with cherry the other day. And that was spectacular. They were really good. No, don't. Why are you tempting him? He does not need your help. Absolutely does not need your help. He's 100% prepared to cause mayhem all by himself. He's professional. Thank you for the host. Professional. I don't think so. I gotta set that down for a second. My hand starts to cramp after a while. Appreciate the follow, Pro Tender Streamer. Ah. Y'all see that? The only downside is me clawing myself with my own nails when I hold this. And I've been painting for 2 days, so I still have paint residue on me as well. Right? My nails grow really quick. I have to cut them all the time. I was painting yesterday. And I worked my other job yesterday. And sometimes I sleep. Right? Yep, it happens. It does happen. Sometimes I just give up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be real honest with y'all. I sleep really good these days, and that was not always the way it was in my life. I do pretty good now. Used to take me forever to fall asleep. It still happens sometimes. Staying asleep is harder. You sleep like a dolphin. Under the sea. It's a made-up word. It's a fantasy. Yeah, I can understand that. I do on occasion stay up later than I should and pay for it. Right? There's always a price, right? I'm sure you have. Skelly. I'm sure you have, Dark. Every hour, every 2 hours. All right, as soon as I finish this G, I am going to have to set this down for a second. And let my hand cool down. And rest just for a second. Yeah, you need some downtime, right? You need to just come to poke you and see how you are. Yes, Skelly, it's awful. But yeah, it is. It's hard to just go to bed, right? With all those thoughts from the day. You need some whoosah time, a little clearing of the head time, right? Clear your day, put all your stuff away. Put that away and pick it up when you wake back up. Not as easy to do as it is to say it, but it does definitely help if you can do it. So, one of the common tricks that people with PTSD develop is that they begin to manufacture dreams before they're sleeping. Meaning they lay down, close their eyes, and actively begin dreaming before they go to sleep in order to put themselves to sleep. It's like telling yourself a story. Only you have full visual, you can smell, you can taste everything. You're almost in a complete REM dream state, right? And it's really interesting how frequently you see it with people who have PTSD. How many of them have come to the conclusion without any guidance that that's the way to put the brain to sleep. It's very effective. And it's not a negative coping skill. There's nothing negative about it. It's just interesting how many people, without communicating the idea, all come to the same conclusion that this is what it's going to take to get there, right? It really does. Yeah, pro-tender sleeper. Outlaw can go to sleep at the drop of a hat. Doesn't even faze him. He just lays down and goes to sleep. And, you know, a lot of veterans are like that too. Of course, they were somehow taught to do that. I don't know, through exhaustion or something. But it is really common with our veteran friends that they can just sleep anywhere, anytime. And then we have several who use techniques like I was talking about, where you start dreaming before you're even asleep. But you know, whatever gets you there, right? Yeah. Right? I really want to call you Air Kate. Is it Air Kate? Is it Erica? Is it Irk? I know I've asked you this before, and I apologize that I can't recall off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Erica. Okay. I was trying really hard to remember. Irk like lurk. Yep. If it's any consolation, I suck really hard at names in real life too. Right, dark. Yeah. Nobody can see you in Kimgare. True, dark. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. See, I like that. Yours has meaning just like mine. Absolutely. Skelly, you still use your whoobies? Your slick outdoor gear blanket? Or any of y'all? We have two. still use them. One of them's sitting on the couch in the living room right now. No? Outlaw loves them. And so does Beta Cat, because they have the little ties on them. So he plays with them. 8 softball, 20 basketball. You're all right. There we go. Queen of Shenanigans. Yep, when you put it up, you put it up. That's all right. So it's got pencil marks on it, right? So I'll erase those all off. And this will be done, and then we can treat it with mineral oil. So now we have choices, right? We'll put Queen of Shenanigans over there. So we can do Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian next, or we can do all of these characters from A Nightmare Before Christmas. Look at Oogie Boogie. Isn't he great? And the witch in the middle. And the werewolf. They're all there. Which one would you guys like to see done first? Or do you want to see something different? I can stencil out something different. You didn't see Lock, Shock, and Barrel? They're not in here. They're not in there. Baby Yoda. Which one is perfect? The one we just did, or The Nightmare Before Christmas? Which one are you talking about? Just say maybe. We got 1 vote for Baby Yoda, who will look something like this when we're done. It's an easier way for you guys to see what that stencil looks like. You want Baby Yoda too? Okay. Dark. Yes, we are fans of Nightmare Before Christmas. You know what? I may go get myself, my drink is like 74 degrees. It's kind of gross, actually. I just took a drink of it, and I can live without it. So I may go grab one out of the refrigerator real quick if you guys can give me just a minute. I know that I don't have anybody following me tonight, so I think it's okay for us to run a little bit late. Because we're definitely going to. If I start Yoda now, we're running late, because that one took me an hour and 40 minutes. So I'm going to stretch my hand, and I'm going to grab myself a cold drink, and I'm going to be right back. So you guys hang out for just a minute. Chat amongst yourselves, and I'll be quick, okay? Just wanted to secure that in case the cat decides to do something stupid. All right, CreatiVets, I'm coming back. All right. So this one is going to be a little bit different, right? We're going to start on this outside line, just like we did the last one. But we're going to fill it in so that it looks just like the stencil, so that the wood shows through all these parts. And for the parts that I burn, we're going to keep them striped along with the wood grain. So we'll end up with darker and lighter bits. I'm going to start at the top of this design and move my way down. Whereas with the other design, we did it a full piece at a time. Because I want to show the wood grain, so I want to keep my strokes when I go to do the fill on this fairly consistent. So we're going to use just a little bit different technique this time. And I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get through all of these designs tonight or not. I think we're probably going to end with 2. But that's okay, because we can always pick this up next week. With that Nightmare Before Christmas design. We can do that on here next week. And then what would you guys like to see on a cutting board? What do you think would be a good design for a cutting board? Or good theme even? I mean, you can just tell me generally, right? A tree, a wave, wine, food. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. I was like, am I just sitting here talking to myself? No, I'm not. Sometimes that happens. Gotta check. I really gotten used to talking nonstop while I do stuff, right? Which is amazing, and I'm insanely grateful for how interactive everybody is and how involved everybody's been. So we kind of create art together, right? It's been super cool. It's one of the things on my little list of things to never take for granted. But I find that it's become almost a habit now, right? Because as I was finishing up this commission that Beta is laying against in the chair behind me, I talked my way through it, and there was nobody here. I wasn't streaming. I was like, who am I talking to? There's nobody here. It's just me. Yeah, he's in the chair. It's hard to see him because he's black. The chair's black and the painting's black, but yeah, he's right there crashed out. Just say I was talking to my cat, right? Well, nobody would know if I didn't tell you, because Outlaw was downstairs and I was up here with Beta by myself, so. Right? Beta's listening for Ollie. He does look kind of like a pillow, doesn't he? He sleeps in that chair a lot. He sleeps up there while I'm working during the day. When I bought that chair, it was a gray color. The upholstery is almost like denim, but it was this dirty gray color. And when we remodeled this room and I painted the walls, it's a much brighter gray. That chair looked dirty compared to the pretty gray of the walls. So I painted the upholstery with the same acrylic paints that you guys watch me paint canvases with. And you would never know to sit in it. You'd never know. It didn't even change how the fabric feels or anything. But it definitely changed how the chair looks. And I like it a lot better black. Not only because it matches the room, but because Beta, you know, sheds a lot. And it being almost like a denim material makes it really easy for me to get the cat hair off of, but you can't see it as well because he's black and it's black. So there's the top of his helmet starting to take shape. That line just did not want to do its thing, did it? Some of them are more difficult than others. Depending on how they lay on the grain. This makes me happy when you can start to see it take shape. Starting to look like his helmet. So these lines that go at a slight angle across the grain are probably the most difficult to get straight. Excuse me. Hey, nice. What are you going to do with all your time off? Are you guys planning to do anything special with it or just enjoy it? I know. It's not like your responsibilities go away just because it's a 3-day weekend, right? But you can have some fun stuff. Well, yes, Dark, your schedule is a little bit different than Skelly's, that's for sure. Nice. All good plans, Skelly, all good plans. I am definitely going to make time for ESO. I'm super excited about it. I legit have it downloaded and I watched the opening credits. That's it. Hey Blue, welcome. Thank you so much for following. Ice cream day sounds really good. I could do an ice cream day. That's for sure. That sounds really good, as a matter of fact. Snakes? I don't eat snakes for snacks. Eat whatever snakes you want. Gummy snakes. You can have gummy snakes with ice cream. That works. Nice cover. Juan, thanks for following. Welcome. We are wood burning cutting boards. So we got one done that says the Queen of Shenanigans and has a crown on it. And now we are working on one that has the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda on it, otherwise known as the child. Hey, thanks for the sparks. Big salmon. Beta has been demanded. I have not, but that would be really fun. I was saying next week on CreatiVets, I have another cutting board already ready to do that has some Nightmare Before Christmas characters on it. And yeah, I'm 100% looking for suggestions. Oh, yes, you're right. Dark, I get it. Yeah, what kind of things from ESO would be cool on a cutting board? I mean, I could do a painting. I could do, you know, whatever. But I think next week for CreatiVets, we're going to work on cutting boards again. Of course, it's, you know, always different in my own stream. I do different things there too. A sneaking Khajiit. Malak ball symbols. Oh, look at that cat one. That's adorable. Jack Skellington. Yeah, Skyrim would be cool. There are a ton of symbols actually in ESO. I mean, like all the puzzle symbols, there's a ton of them. A high elf. Hey, Mr. Stovall. Thanks for the sparks. Well, I personally play Khajiit Templar, but I'm sure I could figure out a high elf. No, that would be really fun to do. I like that idea. And I'm going to be smart right now. Any one of you that's in my Discord, there's an ideas channel. If you would write down Mrs. do a ESO themed piece for me, then I will be assured that eventually it will get done. Yeah, I get that, Blue. I love Templars, right? I'm always a healer no matter what game I'm in. Or a battle cleric, as Brownie calls it, right? That kind of tank healer combination. I like that. But I first started playing ESO with Morrowind, so I had to be Khajiit. That'd be cute. A rogue kitty, that'd be cute. I like the idea of doing all the symbols too. I mean, if I were going to wood burn them, these, like this whole border would be really cool, all done in ESO symbols, right? Yes, they do. I've been sitting here breathing the smoke for a minute. I like the Khajiit. Obviously, I'm partial to them. I like the High Elves. I like the Bretons as well. They're really pretty. Argonians. I did buy the special horse because I liked it. So I can't argue with that. I don't know. I just love everything about ESO. Like everything about it. So like there's not going to be anything that you bring up that I don't like. I just love all of it. No lizard people. The Argonians are pretty cool though. I like their funky hair. I think it's cool they put funky hair on them and all the beads and all the details. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be playing this weekend, and I'll give you a whole bunch of tips. We can get you where you need to be pretty quick. That is a handy perk. Absolutely heals. They do make good tanks. I've had a couple that I've run through Dungeons and Delves with, and they're really, really good. Check it out. We're starting to make progress. Look like a Mandalorian. And now we get to start on the Baby Yoda part. Baby Yoda for the win. Oh, that's very cool. Blue. People, humans are boring. Wow, nice. I have two. I have the Templar that I run all the time with everybody else. And then I have a little thief that I made when they came out with the Dark Brotherhood DLC that I've never done anything else with. That's it. That's all I have. Right. Yeah, I know a lot of people that rotate through depending on if they need a healer or a tank or whatever. Depending on what they're running or who they're running with. It's really cool to be able to do that. I don't have enough time. Like, my time is divided, not that everybody else does and I don't. My time is divided between so many priorities that I haven't been able to prioritize that high enough to get there, even though I want to, you know what I mean? So it becomes difficult. Really? Well, maybe you'll just move them all up together as you go, right? Everybody will be 20, 25, and then they'll be all 50 together, and then you'll start really moving through those champion levels. Thank you for all the sparks. I appreciate it. How have you been doing, mister? Yeah, it's hard sometimes. Should be easier now. I would think with Greymar just coming out, you're going to have a whole influx of new people. Nice, Blue. That's fabulous. That is a really, really good mix. So no matter what you want to do, you've got somebody to run it. Like, that's great. There's quite a few really active ones. The wardens are cool. I'm in Shadowed Winds is my guild. I think that's it. I think that's her name. I have not done anything with the guild in a hot minute. I do have them on Discord and I try to keep up. But I'm going to be honest, I struggle with the Discords. There are so many. And keeping up with my own is important. And there's, probably 7 or 8 more that I attempt to keep up with. And the rest I just can't. So I keep up with my guild mostly through there. And that's just me lurking and reading stuff, not really participating outright. But it definitely helps to have a guild and guild resources. Not to mention guild people. Yeah, there's a ton of options. I was talking to V-Dog the other day about opening up my Discord to allow people to first have the conversation with people, but to allow people to have their own channels in my Discord under their names, so that if they didn't want to run a whole separate Discord and they only needed like their channel where their people could come in and talk to them on a single channel, that we could just run it out of one Discord and make it easy. I thought it would be nice to simplify it for people if they don't want to have a whole Discord of their own. Because it's hard to keep up. And I have a feeling that all of us are in the same Discords anyway. Like, we're all talking to the same people, we're just doing it in 15 different places, right? Well, my Discord's really, really active, and I adore my community. Like, they're freaking amazing. But I mean, if you've got a Discord and you've got, I don't know, 10 people that are active in it, and they're also active in 5 other Discords that you're in, maybe it would be a nice option to just have, you know, your channel that they could join and talk, you know, to just you. Right. Yeah. Where everybody's got their name on a channel, right? So there's a Skelly channel and a Blue Polar channel, and right? People want to talk to you, they can go in there. They want to talk in general, they can talk in general, whatever. But I don't know. It was just an idea that I was kicking around. I mean, so far as people have heard about it, they seem to think it's a good idea. I don't know if anybody wants to do it, but I'm perfectly happy to make room just to simplify people's lives, right? It's a lot easier to enjoy yourself if you're not stressed out about trying to keep up with everything. And you know, our time together should be fun, right? We should be enjoying this. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing. I may just start it and then people can just ask me to add them a channel or whatever. I may just do it. And then as people want to have their own channel and do stuff, I'll just make them. I mean, even if it only helps out a couple of people, then it helped out a couple of people, right? Like, that's a good thing. Guys, look at Baby Yoda's little face. He's so cute. He's so cute. Let's do his little eyebrows and his little eyes. Baby Yoda! This is real close to, it's real close to the same pose even, actually. Look at that little face. It's so cute. This is gonna be adorable. Although I have to say, I really like the Queen of Shenanigans. It makes me happy. I've got to cut my nails off again. Look, guys. See all my little nail marks? I look like little horse hoof prints in my hand. How late are we? I'm a half hour over. I'm a half hour over. CreatiVets, forgive me. I'm late. I'm sorry. Did you not get to see it? The Queen of Shenanigans. I mean, I aspire to be the Queen of Shenanigans, don't you? Shouldn't we all want to be the Queen of Shenanigans? Sounds like a fun title to me. I thought it would be cute for a little cutting board. I've never really been a you know, like, oh, I don't know, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like, you know, the, like, live, love, laugh, I guess is an example. Like, if I go to the craft stores around me, there's all of these, it's the same saying in a bunch of different ways, right? But they use like the same words all the time. And I don't I don't know why. I've never like felt inspired or like, oh, right, this really moves me by any of that stuff. So I tend to gravitate more towards things like, you know, Queen of Shenanigans, or like I made a trivet that said where the fork, and it has a fork on it, or what the fork is for dinner, and it has a little fork where the word fork's supposed to be. I don't know. It suits my personality, I guess. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of those sayings. I don't have a problem with them. I have a really good friend who has a bunch of stuff that says the same phrase on it. Because she likes it. It does something for her, which is really, really cool, that you found something that inspires you, that makes you feel good. And it does absolutely nothing for me. Like, it's awesome that that's your thing, but it's really yours. You can have it. I'm going to have to find my own thing. And that's okay, right? We all need room to be able to do that. Yeah, the redundancy, I think, gets to me after a while. I'm like, really? Okay, so still? So there's not another phrase in the English language? Perhaps. But I don't know. I am much more captured by things that people I know have said to me. For a quote that I just about live by, that I've said several times on Mixer and throughout my life to everybody. I worked with this gentleman. He's an incredible gentleman. He's a basketball coach. And we were working with a particular tough kid. And he said, I respect myself too much to disrespect you. And the second it came out of his mouth, my heart felt it. And I was like, yes, I want you to know that's now mine. I'll be taking it. I'll give you full credit, but that's mine. And I can't tell you how many occasions I've used it. More as a reminder to myself, right? I don't have to be disrespectful to you, regardless of how you are behaving towards me, because I respect myself enough that I don't need to do that. Such a great reminder. And I've used it over and over and over again, right? Those types of phrases, that type of meaning, that personal moment, that's, you know, that's what moves me. That's what I remember. That's what I want to share. But the I don't know, dime store platitudes. It's amazing that they work for people, and I'm so glad that they do. Anything that inspires is a good thing. I guess I just need something different, you know? Not good or bad, just it is what it is. It's different. But stuff like that means a lot to me. I hold that stuff for a long time.
What's up, chat? What,
Hey,
Beta?
Outlaw.
Why are you... Get off of that painting, Beta.
Okay, he was asleep, and I don't want him up here, so I was just leaving him alone.
He's still asleep. It's just he's laying against the painting. I was going to sit down and join you.
Oh, well then pick up the painting. You can put it, lean it on Obi's box.
Here, I'll just lean it over here. Sorry to interrupt. Why are you...
I'm not
messed
interrupted.
that up.
Be still. You're not interrupting.
All right, well, I can't stand her because the cat.
Yes, you can. Just move the cat.
By the way, that looks adorable.
Yeah?
That looks adorable. As soon as I saw it, I pulled your stream up. MP had got called into work, so I hosted D-Ross. D-Ross just got online, so.
It's turning out pretty cute, right?
It's freaking adorable. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, it's so cute.
Baby Yoda.
I think we may have to keep that one.
We're going to keep this one?
We might have to keep that one. I kind of like that.
You know, I can make more than one, right?
You're fine. How late you going?
Well, I'm going to finish this.
Okay. Do you know what time it is?
I do. I know I'm late.
You're not late.
I am late. I'm on schedule to end CreatiVets at 6.
Well, they like you doing what you do.
Okay. That doesn't mean I should take advantage. Okay, I'm 40 minutes over, and
Blue Polar, by the way, thanks for the follow on my channel.
and I'm gonna be a minute. Can you? What are you doing? You crack me up. That's nice, though. That's
Queen of
nice.
Shenanigans.
Yes, isn't that cute? I like it.
Yes.
I thought it turned out really well.
Yeah, I'll have to oil these really good.
They're untreated.
I understand.
I
I know.
mean-
I'll get them all nice and oiled up.
They've got to be.
That looks really good with the wood grain, how you have the lines going sideways.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to keep the grain.
That looks really good.
I'm glad you approve.
Not that I approve or disapprove, I'm just saying it looks really good.
I am. I'm glad that you approve. I'm glad you like it.
Alright, I'm going to go stretch.
Okay, bye. He's my veteran. You know, I thought this was a fairly simple design when I got it all on the paper, and well, when I designed it, got it all on the paper and got it cut out, I thought this is going to be great. This is really simple. Right? It's going to look really good on the wood. It'll be really simple to do. It'll be no problem. We're going to knock 3 of these out in 2 hours. I legit barely got the first one done, and it was the simplest of the 3. I don't know what made me think I could do this that rapidly. I mean, I know better. It's not like I haven't played this game before. But you know, sometimes your optimism just gets the better of you, right? My brain likes to do that to me. Let's do all the things. we're going to do this and this and this, and it's going to be so much fun. And then I'm like, this is going to take 8 years. I can't fit all this in here. But it's okay, because we'll finish this next week. And we will maybe work on an ESO design. Is ESO is Bethesda, isn't it? I'll have to look at what, I don't think I have rights to Bethesda. I'll have to look at what I can do. So I paid for licensure for this. And then I paid for the exact design in order to be able to produce it and sell it legally, right? And I do that with everything, which, trust me, costs an appreciable amount more. But I don't steal artwork. I don't want mine stolen, and I don't steal other people. So I'm happy to pay the price. I'll have to look at what all I have to see if I can do it. But yeah, I'm really careful about that. I don't want people to steal my original art and tell people that it's theirs. That hurts my feelings. And a lot of times the art that I'm creating is, I'm very passionate about it. I'm very attached to it and the stories that it tells. So when people attempt to take it, it's very disturbing to me, because I feel like they're trying to take you're bastardizing the story. You know what I mean? So I'm overly conscious about not doing that to somebody else, regardless of whether it's famous artwork or not. It doesn't matter. There's an artist behind it. So I will look into what I can and can't do. But that doesn't mean that I cannot create something original. You know what I mean? You can't broadcast it. You can't broadcast somebody else's images. And you have to take into consideration that if you get embers, if you're monetized, there is a profit. Yeah. But it's, I mean, not everybody in the world sees it that way. That is 100% my personal opinion. So yeah, I'm real careful about it. And not because of the new DMCA, I think it's DMCA. Not because of all of that business. It's just it's a respect thing. It's just personal respect. But I also know how it feels, you know what I mean? To have somebody take something that means something to you and twist it and change it and make it their own. And it's not a really good feeling for me. Because then what happens is people tend to believe one person over the other, or they choose sides, or they pick, like, it's stuff like that gets really mean really, really quickly, and I just don't need that kind of stuff in my life. I am perfectly happy to live a life without that. Right? But I will look at what I can do. That are along, you know, that same genre, but maybe something that is new. And it's possible that I may have partial licensure anyway and can look at what I can and can't do. So I'll figure that out before we do anything. And I can easily figure that out before next Thursday. Oh, I should say too, this is not the same thing as fan art. Fan art is different. Because I'm talking about taking an actual image, right? And that's different than fan art. Skelly, have I told you today how much I appreciate you? Because if I haven't, I really, really do. Okay, our outline is complete. Now I just gotta fill it in. I gotta uncramp my hand. Take a little drink. I used to have a grip that went around that I wore out that made this easier. I have very long fingers. I need to buy another one. could like just have a running list so I don't forget something like this. I mean, not like ideas like what we have in the Discord, but I mean, like I need a, I don't know. I need to be doing voice to text or something right now. Because I absolutely know that I'm going to forget that I need to buy that until the next time I pull this thing out. And then I'm going to be like, oh, why didn't I buy that? And then it's just a vicious circle, right? Yeah, I need to, what I need to do is I need to remember to like just post stream, go into my Amazon list and just add stuff, right? That can just sit there so I remember it later. But I don't do that. I just need to be more thoughtful, I think, or something. Like, it's not that big a deal during my regular day. I can just type it up or write it down or whatever. But it's more difficult when I'm in the middle of, you know, this. And my hands are very busy. Or I can't always stop in the middle of a piece. And then it's lost. Hey, Khaleesi. All right. Oh my goodness, Blue. Wow. I'll take a picture of it. It'll be in, if you're in the Discord, it'll be in there. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Good night, Blue. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I do appreciate it. I'm doing good, Khaleesi. How are you doing? I'm doing good. We're trying to get this done. I'm an hour over. Oh, I don't in this stream. If you go to my regular mixer, it's right there by my bio. I'm sorry to make you do an extra step. I don't have one in CreatiVets because this isn't my channel. I just volunteer here. Nice. What did you make? Thank you, Mr. Two. I appreciate you guys just being patient with me so much. I can't even tell you. All right, Blue. I'll see you around anyway. Have a good night. Sleep well. Oh, you're fine. We've been talking about all kinds of stuff. It's okay for you to get your work done. It's not a bad thing, right? Steak with chimichurri butter, asparagus, and garlic cheddar biscuits. Oh my goodness, that sounds spectacular. I bet it does. Garlic cheddar biscuits are just amazing anyway. I love them. I mean, the steak sounds great too. I have not had dinner. I was gonna wait to eat until after stream. Okay, I gotta set that down for a second. I really want to finish this. I'm so close. I'm so close, and look at how cute he is. My hand's cramping up. As a matter of fact, guys, before I finish this, I'm gonna go put some BioFreeze on my wrist. Because I think I probably should. How long do you think this will take to finish? Maybe 15 minutes? I can probably get through. I'll get through. I'll get through. So knot right here just does not want to, doesn't want to burn. It's being super obstinate. Or I've worn out my wood burner. It's a possibility too. Your Xbox took a big oopsie. Uh-oh. Well, this is how far we are on Baby Yoda. And the Mandalorian. It's almost done. And Queen of Shenanigans is done. I think you were still here. You were still here to see the end of that one, right? Okay, Khaleesi, I'll check it out as soon as I get done here. Well, it's going to be a minute after I get done here. I'm going to put some biofreeze on my hand first. And then I'll go check it out. Thank you, Juan. If you can just go to MrsOEF5 on Mixer, it's in my bio. Because we're on CreatiVets stream here, so I don't have any of that stuff here. I'm sorry to make you take an extra step. Hey, Dan, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for understanding, Juan. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate you. How are you doing? you're very bored, my hand is cramping really badly. And I am so close. I mean, we've only got this tiny bit left. And I'm struggling. I can't, of course she's gonna like it, Khaleesi. How could she not? That sounds spectacular. So why are you so bored, Dan? What are you looking for? Or what do you need to help your mind out tonight? You need a new project? You need less projects? You got nothing to really do? And sit here and watch me for a little bit? Because you're always welcome to hang out with me. I mean, it may not help your boredom, but you're welcome. Whew. I think it's done. Oh, thanks, Dan. Welcome back, Skelly. Doing my head in, so taking a break and think, yes, I can understand that. Every now and then we need to take a little mind break and reassess and come back, right? Oh my goodness. My hand is 100% gonna kill me. Oh. Here's our two cutting boards that we did tonight. Queen of Shenanigans and the Mandalorian and the Child. I'm in love with this. It's freaking adorable. And we have one more. I can't do it. For one, I'm an hour and 15 minutes over, but everybody says that that's okay, so I'm gonna believe it's okay. Here's the sketch for the other one. And it will go along this outline, and then it will almost fill this whole square. So that's what we'll be doing next week. Here on CreatiVets next Thursday. We're gonna do that one, and then I'm gonna figure out a design for another one. Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas. Love Nightmare Before Christmas. As Dark pointed out, I do not have Lock, Shock, and Barrel. So she was disappointed that they were not the characters that are in there. See all the little different characters. Lock, Shock, and Barrel are not in there. So she was disappointed that they weren't there. But yeah, so my plan with that one is that much like these little guys here, we're going to do the reverse on this one. So this will all be burned, right? This whole square here. And then I'm going to leave those little marks out like it's, you know, the werewolf's fur and all that kind of stuff. Just to give it a little bit of texture. Yes. Yes, exactly, Dan. Yeah, it was stuck in my head for about 2.5 hours of the last meeting that I was in today, because I drew it out when I was supposed to be eating a sandwich. And so I just sat singing the music while I was in this lovely meeting, which shame on me for being distracted. But you know, when those songs get in your head, you just can't get them out. All right. So I am going to wrap this up. Next week, we're going to work on that cutting board, I think. And we're going to come up with another design. Maybe do some symbol work around the border of one of these. And then leave this plain. We're going to see if I have any licensure for Bethesda. I don't think I do, but we're going to see if I do. And if not, then I'll be creating them by hand. They'll just be my own design. So we'll do those. We'll do those next Thursday, and that'll be fun. And then the week after that, I have a special plan for CreatiVets. So you'll just have to show up and find out, because I'm not telling you. Oh, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. If you're not familiar with CreatiVets organization, CreatiVets works to heal veterans through art and music. They have a lot of face-to-face classes. Obviously, things like that are on a hold right now, which is how I got here. And I am intensely grateful for that. What a silver lining to a mess that's been going on in the world, right? Viking runes. There's a good idea. There's a good idea. I've got chat over there in my workspace, so I have to look over there to see what you're saying now. Eventually, I'm going to get good at this streaming thing, but it's not going to be today. You're welcome as always, Mr. Two. Thank you so much. All right. Oh, and Sparks too. Thank you so much. So I am going to get off of here, and I will see you guys on this channel next Thursday, same time, 4 p.m. Central, or 4 p.m. Eastern. And in the meantime, tomorrow at 1 p.m. on this channel, 1 p.m. Central, or 2 p.m. Eastern, Rick is doing some songwriting analysis. And he's amazing. If you haven't watched him, he's amazing. I mean, it's insane. Even if you don't want to be a songwriter, understanding how stories are written, understanding how to communicate them, I can't even tell you how much that'll help you in your life. He's an amazing guy. You should watch him. So I'm going to get off of here, and I will see you all around Mixer. Probably may see you a little bit around Twitch, since I've got friends over there as well. But thank you all for joining me, and I hope you guys have a great night.
We are a nonprofit that's helping combat disabled veterans heal through the arts and music. Our art programs in Chicago and California help combat disabled veterans tell their story through art. We enroll them into the best art institutes in the country. We pay for their tuition, their housing, their food all 3 weeks so that they can finally tell their story through art. We also bring combat disabled veterans to Nashville, to places and rooms like this here at the Grand Ole Opry, to tell their story for the first time with pro songwriters all about the things that they went through that they never been able to talk about before. These programs have been extremely successful in helping veterans combat their PTSD. Right now, CreatiVets has more veterans applying for our programs than we do funding. So if you can go to creativets.org and donate, we would appreciate it.